Live from the 11 Alive studio, Morning Rush starts now.
Good Tuesday morning, folks. They say the more money you have, the more spending you're likely to do. And for many people, they just can't stop. Guess what? A new study says if you put down your cell phone, you can stop breaking your bank. So do you agree that putting your cell phone down will stop your crazy spending habits? I don't know about that. We want to know your thoughts. Use that hashtag #MorningRushATL. I think that would be a problem.
You buy a lot of things off your phone?
I don't.
No, yeah.
Computer.
I'll discuss
Too
what this
difficult
means.
on the phone. I go to the computer.
I'll discuss what this means in the meantime. But good morning, folks. It is Tuesday. Got Chesley and Jerry in for Crash. Let's get you started with the rush block, but a red alert.
Absolutely.
Jerry.
Hate to start your Tuesday with a red alert, but that's absolutely what we're dealing with down on the south end of town. Take a look at this. We've got an accident involving a tractor trailer and two other vehicles. This is on I-285 southbound, right near I-85 as you make that bend to go eastbound on I-285. That's where we've got this tractor trailer accident involving two other vehicles and a fuel spill. So once they get all of these vehicles off of the roadway, then they're going to have to clean up the fuel spill. So if you are heading down that west wall, trying to make your way over to the airport, just be aware that I-285 is closed. You can see that it is just covered up with all of these emergency vehicles. I-85 southbound, right near I-85 as you start to make your way to go eastbound toward the airport. We'll show it to you on the map there, and you see all of the red behind that. So I'm going to start coming up with some alternate routes for you and have that for you in my next hit. Chesley.
All right, thanks a lot, Jerry. Clouds overhead right now. Mostly cloudy skies is where we're starting off, but we'll get some sunshine in for the afternoon. Very chilly start. Temperatures down into the 30s in a lot of spots, close to the freezing mark in a lot of spots as well. 31 below the freezing mark up there in Blairsville. 36 right now in Canton, Gainesville at 34, 35 in Marietta, 36. Right now in Atlanta. I think we'll get down to about 33 with those clouds around this morning. Partly sunny skies by the time we hit the afternoon. 44 degrees will be a temperature by noon. 51 for an afternoon high temperature. A bit breezy, so that wind will make it feel more like the 40s out there. So make sure you grab your coat. Francesca, over to you.
Thanks so much, Chesley. Deputies are investigating after 3 bodies were found in Rockdale County home. Naima Abdullahi joins us in the newsroom with details on this developing story.
Francesca, this all started as a welfare check. Then deputies made that gruesome discovery in Conyers. The Rockdale County Sheriff's Office found that 3 people were found dead inside a home on Sweetwater Lane, just south out of I-20 in Conyers. Right now, we're not told exactly what happened, what led to it, and who these people are. This is still an active investigation. We were there as investigators collected evidence and looked through the neighborhood to find any clues. Right now, we're working to find out if the Sheriff's Office is looking for any possible suspects. Again, this is still an active investigation.
Naima, thank you. New this morning, scary moments overnight for residents at an apartment complex after someone fired shots. Atlanta police say someone fired a couple of rounds at the Magnolia Street apartments in Northwest Atlanta just after midnight. Now, someone had to be treated for a cut on the foot from broken glass, and residents tell us they're not sure why they were targeted. Right now, police are looking for the gunman. Now to an update on a deadly officer-involved shooting. It's a story we brought you as breaking news yesterday on Morning Rush, and Clayton County police telling us they were forced to shoot and kill 68-year-old Jimmy Phillips. Now, this happened Sunday night at a home on Katy Lane in Morrow, Georgia. Police say Phillips wouldn't let a woman and 2 teenagers leave the home. They say Phillips pointed a weapon at officers. That's when officers fired back. Now to some other top stories we're following on this Tuesday morning.
Bond denied for 2 Life University lacrosse players accused in a violent Airbnb robbery. A Fulton County judge making the ruling yesterday as he dropped some charges against the 2. A detective testifying that the women tipped off 2 men about a house party in Fulton County with drugs and cash. The men then allegedly pistol whipped and robbed the victims.
I'm Deborah Tuff in the newsroom. A lot of trash talking in Gwinnett County. Piles of trash at 3500 The Vines Apartments in Peachtree Corners. Neighbors say a broken compactor led to an overflow of trash. Waste Management tells me they're now working on daily pickup, added a second dumpster, and are fixing the broken compactor.
I'm Tracy Potts in Washington. President Trump is overseas at the NATO summit, but watching impeachment very closely. Tonight, lawmakers will vote to approve the report of everything that's happened so far and turn it over to the Judiciary Committee before their hearing tomorrow. President Trump tweeting that Democrats should not have held that hearing while he was out of town.
And that's your Rush Block, a quick look at your top stories, weather, and traffic. And now to an update that has had thousands of well wishes, prayers, and thoughts pouring in to our Facebook page. Of course, we're talking about the recovery of former President Jimmy Carter. The Carter Center confirming that the president was back in the hospital. He was admitted to Phoebe Sumter Medical Center in Americus over the weekend as he battles a urinary tract infection. President Carter, you remember, is 95 and was released from Emory Hospital just last week after a successful surgery to relieve a brain bleed caused by recent falls. Now, the Carter Center also tweeted out an update in regards to this news, saying that the former president is feeling better and looks forward to returning home soon. A lot of people have been following these updates. And as for his Sunday school lessons, well, his home church in Plains posted on Facebook that the December 8th and December 22nd Sunday school classes will be canceled. So we're going to stay on top of this here at the 11 Alive Bridge. But in the meantime, so many of you have been sharing and posting and sending in well wishes on our 11 Alive Facebook page. You can continue to do so, but the consensus seems to be that they hope that the former president starts to slow down and takes really good care of himself. We're going to continue to follow. In the meantime, Jerry, over to you.
Yeah, we are still following this major red alert. This is in Fulton County, I-285 southbound. Right as you make that bend to go toward I-85, we've got an accident involving a tractor trailer and two other vehicles. There you can see all lanes are blocked. I-285 southbound, right near I-85. We've got a tractor trailer involved in this accident and a fuel spill. So that means this is going to be there for quite a long time. There it is on the map. You can see road blocked, I-285 southbound. Right there as you're approaching I-85. Best thing to do is to make your way over to Camp Creek Parkway. Get off of I-285 before you get into this area at Camp Creek Parkway, and then you can make your way over back to I-285. So this is a mess that is going to be here for a while. Chesley.
All right, thanks a lot, Jerry. Heading out to the bus stops this morning, it's going to be a very chilly one. We're looking at temperatures starting off in the 30s this morning, low 30s in a lot of spots. We do have the clouds out there. The good news is there's no snow or rain or anything coming out of the clouds. Sun will rise at 7:26. That northwest wind will make that 33 feel more like the 20s. So definitely bundle the kids up and yourself as well. As far as your forecast for today, we're looking at 51 for the afternoon high. We'll give it a 9 out of a possible 11 today on the whizometer. It's how we rate your weather on a scale from 1 to 11. Close to an 11, right? Partly sunny skies for today, folks, and a coat needed. Francesca?
Thanks so much, Chesley. Time now 5:07. Let's get you started with in other news. So you could be sitting on some major cash. A Powerball ticket worth $50,000 was sold at Kroger in Lilburn, and no one has claimed it yet. So check your tickets. It was purchased at the store on Highway 29, and the winner has 180 days to cash in, and you still have a chance to win the Powerball. No one matched all the numbers. The next Powerball drawing tomorrow will be at least worth $120 million. Share it with me, please. Okay, moving on. So there's a lot on the line for the Georgia Bulldogs when they face LSU Saturday in the SEC championship game. For Coach Kirby Smart, that includes hundreds of thousands of dollars. According to the terms of his contract, he's already earned a bonus $100,000 for getting to the Benz on Saturday. Now, if the Dogs win, he'll pick up another $125,000. But you know, that's nothing to Chesley McNeil. But wait, there's more. Smart will actually pick up another $250,000 if UGA reaches the college football playoffs. If the team makes it to the national championship game, that increases to $500,000. And if the Dogs take the title, he'll pocket $700,000. Okay, is this story in? Because I'm done with this. He'll pocket $700,000, bringing his grand total to $925,000 in bonuses. Coach Smart, you want to come my way because this is ridiculous. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at Chesley. It's crazy. Okay, now it's time for us to do a segment called So They Say. So most of us use our cell phones to do everything while we're shopping, right? It's a great way to multitask, but if you ditched your cell phone, you could probably save a lot of money, so they say. A new study says using your phone in any way that's not related to your shopping trip, even listening to music, is actually distracting, and being distracted can result in more impulse purchases or forgetting to buy things you wanted to get. Now, it happens 9% of the time with anyone who shops on their phone. The bottom line, stay off your phone unless what you're doing is shopping related. Fellas, I know this happens to you. I'll give you my quick story. Right. Okay, I'm in, I don't know, Target, a girl's favorite place, and I'm listening to RuPaul radio or Lady Gaga radio. You know, like you're in a good
through Francesca's day.
That's
nice.
Right.
What I'm saying is the study says listening to music is non-shopping related, so it gets you in a good mood. Your endorphins are pumping, and what are you doing?
You buy too
Spending
much.
more.
Spending more, yeah.
Does that happen to you guys?
I can't relate.
Yes.
Come on.
Even the music that they play in stores will have an effect on you. Yeah. Which is why apparently scientists say that's why they play happy music, that kind of thing, because it puts you in a mood to buy more. You never heard that say before?
I've heard. I just can't relate. I don't get it. I just don't.
Jerry,
it doesn't happen.
you can't tell me that. Okay, it says talking on the phone, texting, checking, or sending emails, surfing the web. You don't do any of that.
But it doesn't make me want to shop more. I check my emails when I'm in the store. I'm checking
Sounds
emails,
like a why guy.
and I walk right by everything.
Yeah, why is Jerry immune to?
Maybe I'm just not much of a shopper.
You weigh in, folks. Let us know if you have those impulse buys when you're listening to music or doing other things that should be shopping related.
Should I buy more? Should I shop more?
I'm now 5'11", folks. Ahead on Morning Rush, the man believed to be a suspect in the Atlanta child murders maintains his innocence. Find out if a parole board thinks he should go free. And Senator Johnny Isakson gives his final farewell address. We take a closer look at his likely replacement.
And a deadly winter storm making its way across the country. We'll tell you when that snow is likely to slow down.
New this morning, the bride and the surprise wedding guests after a life-saving gift. Here's Kevin Tibbles.
An extra special celebration on Sarah Russell's wedding day with someone she'd never met.
All I said to her, I think, was, "I love you so much." And I think that's all she said to me, too.
Sarah is a nurse in the nation's capital. 8 years ago, she enrolled in an international bone marrow registry.
It started with a simple cheek swab from myself.
And look where it's gone.
And look where it's gone.
Far away in Ohio, Kinley Stroll had been losing her fight with leukemia.
Live from the 11 Alive studio, Morning Rush starts now.
Well, there's no place like home for the holidays. You know, I had that in me, didn't I?
Nice.
Yeah, but there's a survey out that says that 21% of people say spending time at home is a letdown during the holidays. What do you think? Let us know. Use the hashtag MorningRushATL. We're going to get to that in just a few minutes. Get your comments, but you didn't know I had that in me, did you?
I'm shocked.
It depends on who you're spending time with.
Wait, they got to see you actually do it.
Is it someone who can sing or not?
Well, you know, I can't, but I do my best. I do my best.
That was nice.
Beautiful. Happy Tuesday, folks. We have a great show for you. Sheba is off. Jerry's in for Crash, and the team is here. Let's get you started with the Rush Block.
Yes, indeed. All right, so we do have clouds overhead right now, but the good news is that there's no precipitation coming out of those clouds. We had some snow in Georgia yesterday up in the higher elevations of the North Georgia mountains. Thanks to this area of low pressure that is now moving its way off the coast. We had some snow, still have some in Boston and New York, had it all the way down in Philly and Washington as well not long ago, but now it's starting to move away. Now the clouds are pesky, even here. They're holding on, at least for this morning. I think they'll begin to break up as we head toward the afternoon. We'll wind up with partly sunny skies. Starting off with cloudy skies though, and temperatures are down into the 30s. It's a chilly start, you need your coat. 44 degrees by noon, 51 your afternoon high, and those winds stay breezy all day. Will turn more westerly later on this afternoon at 10 miles per hour. You going to Jerry Carnes? That's what you want to do.
Yes,
Go on
sir.
over to Jerry Carnes.
Because I've got good news. Remember that red alert that started us off this morning at 5 a.m.? Gone. Take a look. I-285 southbound as you approach I-85 in Fulton County. All lanes were closed down as of 25 minutes ago with a tractor-trailer accident, but amazing how emergency crews got this all out of there. Got them off to the right and then towed everyone away and even cleaned up a fuel spill. So wide open there now. If you're going across the top end perimeter, you are condition green. Same thing for the big three, 475 and 85 in downtown, condition green as well. So we went from a red alert to everyone moving along just fine. Francesca.
Thanks so much, Jerry. Saying farewell to Washington, D.C., Georgia U.S. Senator Johnny Isakson will give his final address on the Senate floor today. Afterward, Georgia Senator David Perdue and other lawmakers will honor Isakson's decades of public service. Isakson is retiring at the end of the year because of health reasons. Naima Abdullahi is tracking this story. And Naima, we're already hearing reports about his replacement.
Francesca, that's right. We're learning that, according to the Associated Press, Governor Brian Kemp has made a decision to appoint the current owner of Atlanta's WNBA team, the Atlanta Dream. Governor Kemp is expected to appoint Kelly Loeffler, who is a financial services exec. She will reportedly fill Senator Isakson's soon-to-be vacant seat after he retires the end of the month due to health issues. The businesswoman is a political newcomer, but she's been a very active donor to mainly Republican causes. Loeffler became co-owner of the WNBA team. A number of political insiders have said that President Donald Trump would would prefer to have had Republican Representative Doug Collins in that seat. And of course, this is kind of gaining a lot of national attention. This is a hot topic right now. Governor Kemp has yet to publicly announce this decision. 11 Alive reached out to his office to independently confirm the reports, but we did not receive a statement yet. Francesca.
Naima, thank you. An embattled sheriff is out, and now a leader is stepping in and making history. Melody MADDOX was sworn in as DeKalb County's 50th sheriff and is the first woman to hold the position. Jeffrey Mann retired as sheriff last month. And MADDOX is a graduate of Morris Brown. She has been in law enforcement for 23 years. Now to some other top stories we're following on this Tuesday morning.
I'm Hope Ford. New information about one of the teens killed in a double murder on Thanksgiving. Savannah Fullman was a popular athlete. One of her coaches, Mike Garner, tells us they're making plans to retire her number. Her funeral is set for this Saturday at Salem Baptist Church in McDonough. Police have not released any information on a suspect in the murder of Fullman and her boyfriend, Demir Robinson.
Staying in prison. The state denying Wayne Williams' appeal for parole. He's considered the main suspect in the string of killings of black children 40 years ago known as the Atlanta child murders. Right now, he's serving 2 life sentences for murdering 2 adults. A well-known DJ for kids events now in custody on child molestation charges. Henry County Police charging Malcolm Rhodes with sexual battery of a 15-year-old boy. His social media pages show he's worked field trips and pool parties. Police say they're worried there may be more victims.
And that's your Rush Block. A quick look at your top stories, weather, and traffic. Paper straws could be standard at Atlanta's airport next year. Atlanta City Council voted to ban single-use plastic at city-owned buildings and at the airport. So what does that mean? Well, that means no plastic bags and no plastic straws. Now, the legislation got unanimous approval at yesterday's council meeting and now moves to the mayor's desk. And if signed, it would go into effect December 2020. So we've talked about this a lot before here on Morning Rush, and now many of you tweeting about it this morning as well. Some saying got to start somewhere, others saying about time. Johnny's comment says actually that single-use plastics are so old school, but he also acknowledges that there should be an exception for those who need those plastic straws for accessibility purposes. So a lot of people talking about this, and we are going to continue to follow. And we want to bring this up because this comes up a lot in these conversations when we've discussed before. Some restaurants at the airport at Hartsfield-Jackson already do provide paper straws and alternatives to plastic. However, that is not a requirement. So if some of you waking up wondering, since you've seen that before, that is a little clarification on that front. Let us know what you think about this. Would you support the move altogether? Use that hashtag #MorningRushATL, and we are going to continue to follow. Fran.
A great conversation, Liza. Thanks so much. Time now 5:36, folks. Let's get you going with in other news. So Atlanta is showing off some great Southern hospitality, welcoming women competing in the Miss Universe pageant. Love it. Several Buckhead restaurants hosted the beauty queens for dinner last night. Look at their smiles. Look at their sashes. Look at their beauty. Tyler Perry Studios hosts the 2019 Miss Universe competition on Sunday, and women from more than 90 countries will compete for the crown. Brains and beauty. Okay, so more than 1 million pounds of snow and some of the best winter game athletes in the world are on their way to SunTrust Park. Construction started yesterday on a 15-story steel slope inside the ballpark for the Big Air event. The Braves are partnering with the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Association to bring champion snowboarders and free skiers to Atlanta. Now, Olympians and the best of Team USA will show their tricks and jumps. Big Air will be open December 20th and 21st. That's going to be a good show. Okay, now it's time for a segment we like to call So They Say. We heard Chesley sing his, amazing vocals on this one. So we know going home for the holiday is what people tend to do, but a new survey finds 21% of people say, ugh, it's a letdown. Now, the survey also found 72% have a set tradition of how they celebrate the holiday each year, though most express being bored with the traditions. But missing the chance to see certain family members and missing out on certain foods keep people from having a non-traditional holiday and sticking to the same routine. Fellas, I'm very curious. Is this you? Are you bored with your family traditions, and have you tried to venture out lately?
No, I'm not bored with the traditions, but I think what this is saying is that you set expectations high sometimes for a holiday. And you want things to go perfectly, you want the meal to taste just right, and everybody to enjoy each other. And so when that one little spat takes place, or there's just something that's not as satisfying as you thought, all of a sudden your whole holiday drops down. I think just don't be Clark Griswold if you've ever seen Christmas Vacation and set your expectations too high.
Yeah. I have never went home as an adult for the holidays, never been back. So I set my own traditions, and I like to believe that my kids will always want to come back. I've tried to go way out of my way, and I've probably overdone it a lot, to have little traditions and so forth and so on, to the point where I've got on my wife's nerves with some of those. Yeah, but and I've been trying to pull those back. But I think that they will. I think the season has been so magical for them that they'll always come back, at least in my mind.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I'd be curious to know what they think.
The study goes on to say that millennials are the ones that are venturing off of traditions the most because they want to travel with friends and family instead of just being set at home. In fact, a lot of people literally, they do go abroad, Europe and Cancun and some of those destinations being the most popular for Americans. So.
Wow.
Yeah, chime in, folks. Let us know if you're going to keep your traditions, or do you have spats during the holiday season?
It happens.
Use that hashtag.
It does happen, unfortunately. All right, let's take a look at our weather forecast for today. Start you off with a nice look at Blue Ridge, where it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I did that for you, Francesca. I did. It's also feeling like Christmas as well, as those temperatures are on the chilly side. We're starting off in the 30s this morning. You got 36 degrees right now in Atlanta. Up there in Blue Ridge, temperatures in the low 30s. Can you believe that? Blairsville at 31, 33 up in Clayton, 37 degrees right now, and Dalton 38 over toward Rome. Here's your what to wear forecast. I'm thinking a coat. Yeah. Better put on that coat and a hat. It will be breezy to go along with those temperatures. Now this afternoon we'll heat up to around 51 degrees, but with the winds out there, I think it's still cold enough that you should have on a coat. Jerry Carnes, over to you.
Well, now that they've cleared our accident away, I-285 southbound in Fulton County, whew, good job, GDOT crews. We're dealing with just a couple of minor situations. This one is in DeKalb County. There's an accident on Ponce de Leon Boulevard near Brockett Road, that's near the town of Clarkston, that's blocking a lane there, so be aware of that. After that, it's mainly just a stall on the right-hand shoulder. This is I-285 westbound near Jonesboro Road, not that far from where our accident was earlier, so just be aware of those situations.
A sigh of relief for one couple after one of their children has a health scare. Now they're calling it a Thanksgiving miracle. And the Bulldogs, can I hear you, Jerry? The Bulldogs, here we go. The Bulldogs are gearing up to take on the LSU Tigers this Saturday. Hear from players and the head coach before the matchup. Now to your morning moment.
All right, let's take a look at some Monday Night Football. Your Seattle Seahawks, some of you anyway, after scoring a touchdown, take a look at this celebration dance. Okay. They're getting more and more choreographed. This is like New Edition. If it is love, why does it feel so? Remember that?
Yes, Chesley.
Yeah, that's that New Edition celebration. I mean, they're getting more and more choreographed. Look at that. I love it. They beat the Vikings 37-30. Man, that score sounds familiar.
Live from the 11 Alive studio, Morning Rush starts now.
All right, you know, some people don't just come to work, they come to play, and a new study proves it. It says if you bring a PlayStation video game to work, more people will work.
If you play,
I don't know.
You'll do more work.
Yeah, we're going to take a closer look at the study in just a few moments, but first we want to know what you think. You can share your opinions by using the hashtag MorningRushATL.
I don't think the boss would be too happy if you brought a video game to work.
Yeah, but is it saying that if you bought one to work, would people do more work instead of play? I don't know. We have to look deeper into it, yeah.
Don't worry, I got your answers for you.
Information.
Yeah.
A good Tuesday morning, folks. So Sheba is off and Jerry is in for Crash. You got Chesley and I here as well. How you guys feeling this morning?
Great.
Oh, pretty good. Yeah,
good Tuesday.
Yeah.
Taco Tuesday?
Oh,
Taco?
yes.
What? I didn't think about that.
I didn't either.
I'm just giving you some options. Give us some weather options with the Rush Block Chesley.
Hey, you don't have any options. You got to wear a coat. That's it. You know, there's no, well, you can not wear a coat, but you'll freeze. As temperatures are down to the freezing mark in a lot of spots. Yeah, at least close or below that mark. We're looking at a few clouds overhead right now. Yesterday we had snow in the North Georgia mountains. Don't have to worry about that this morning, but it is cold enough to support that in some spots. Like 31 degrees right now in Blairsville. You got 37 up in Dalton, 33 degrees in Clayton, 35 Marietta, 36 in Atlanta, 33 degrees in Athens and Carrollton, 35 down in the Grange, 34 degrees in Thomaston and Edenton. So it's pretty cold out there. And when you factor in the winds that we have, it feels even colder. Let me walk you through the day. We're going to start you off with those 30s, of course. We'll have mostly cloudy skies, but because there'll be some breaks in the clouds, yield a little sunshine our way. 44 by noon. Notice those northwest winds still around. 51 degrees will be our afternoon high temperature. Northwest winds about 10 miles per hour, so it will be a bit breezy and make that 51 feel like the 40s, so bundle up. I was about to call Crash Clark. He's off today. Jerry Carnes is in for him.
You can call me Crash Clark. That's a compliment. I'm keeping an eye on I-85 in Gwinnett County because that's where our volume begins to build. And look at what I found. There's a car broken down on the side of the road. Well, there were flashing lights there just a minute ago. Looks like the Hero unit left him there. But there he is with his flashing lights off to the side, not really causing any problems. But again, volume beginning to build in Gwinnett County on I-85 southbound. Folks in Clarkston are first in South Fulton County, you're dealing with an accident that is off to the right. This is 85 northbound at Flat Shoals Road. So if you're making your way up from South Fulton County, you might see some flashing lights there. Then that accident in Clarkston on Ponce de Leon at Brockett Road, blocking a lane there.
Jerry, thanks so much. Deputies are investigating after 3 bodies were found in a Rockdale County home. Naima Abdullahi joins us in the newsroom with details on the developing story.
Francesca, this is still an ongoing investigation. It all started off as a welfare check. Then deputies made that gruesome discovery. The Rockdale County Sheriff's Office found 3 people dead yesterday on Sweetwater Lane. The house is just south of I-20 in Conyers. Right now, we're not told who the 3 people are, if they're related to each other, and what led to this death. This is still an active investigation. We were there as investigators collected evidence and looked through the neighborhood. Now, right now, we're working to find out if the Sheriff's Office is looking for any possible suspects connected to these murders.
Naima, thank you. New this morning, scary moments overnight for residents at an apartment complex after someone fired shots. Atlanta police say someone fired a couple of rounds at the Magnolia Street apartments in northwest Atlanta just after midnight. Now, someone had to be treated for a cut on the foot from broken glass. Residents tell us they're not sure why they were targeted. Right now, police are looking for the gunman. And now to an update on a deadly officer-involved shooting. It's a story we brought you as breaking news yesterday on Morning Rush. Clayton County Police telling us they were forced to shoot and kill 68-year-old Jimmy Phillips. This happened Sunday night at a home on Katy Lane in Morrow. Police say Phillips wouldn't let a woman and 2 teenagers leave the house. They say Phillips pointed a weapon at the officers. That's when officers fired. Now to some of the other top stories we're following on this Tuesday morning.
Bond denied for 2 Life University lacrosse players accused in a violent Airbnb robbery. A Fulton County judge making the ruling yesterday as he dropped some charges against the 2. A detective testifying that the women tipped off 2 men about a house party in Fulton County with drugs and cash. The men then allegedly pistol whipped and robbed the victims.
I'm Deborah Tuff in the newsroom. A lot of trash talking in Gwinnett County. Piles of trash at 3500 The Vines apartments in Peachtree Corners. Neighbors say a broken compactor led to an overflow of trash. Waste Management tells me they're now working on daily pickup, added a second dumpster, and are fixing the broken compactor.
I'm Tracy Potts in Washington. President Trump is overseas at the NATO summit, but watching impeachment very closely. Tonight, lawmakers will vote to approve the report of everything that's happened so far and turn it over to the Judiciary Committee before their hearing tomorrow. President Trump tweeting that Democrats should not have held that hearing while he was out of town.
And that's your Rush Block. A quick look at your top stories, weather, and traffic. The well wishes and prayers are coming in by the minute on our 11 Alive Facebook page for former President Jimmy Carter, who is back in the hospital. The Carter Center sharing the update on their page and confirming he was admitted to Phoebe Sumter Medical Center in Americus over the weekend as he battles a urinary tract infection. Now, President Carter is 95, and you may remember he was released from Emory Hospital just last week after a successful surgery to relieve a brain bleed caused by several recent falls. Now, the Carter Center also shared an update on their Twitter page, and they said that President Carter is feeling better and looks forward to returning home. And in the meantime, those wondering about plans for Sunday school, well, President Carter's home church in Plains, Georgia, posted on Facebook that the December 8th and December 22nd Sunday school class, which President Carter teaches, those will be canceled. So you can follow along. We're going to be following along closely as we monitor his recovery. But in the meantime, some of those comments that have been just coming in the past few minutes, praying for healing from Ruth Denise, one of our Morning Rush insiders, wishing President Carter to get better. You can just see the prayers overflowing on social media as many monitor the latest on the former president. We'll continue to follow here at the Bridge. In the meantime, Chesley, over to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Liza. Really appreciate it. Take a look, live look at Noonan, downtown Noonan, looking pretty good this morning. Not bad at all. You see the lights decorating the trees there. Everybody's getting in the mood for Christmas, and it certainly feels like it outside as temperatures are down into the 20s and 30s starting off this morning. In fact, it feels like the 20s once you factor in the winds that we have out there. As far as your what to wear forecast for today, your school bus forecast for today, we are looking at temperatures starting off in the 30s. You need to bundle the kids up. We got mostly cloudy skies on the outside. Sun will rise at 7:26 this morning, but those winds will be out of the northwest about 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusts a little higher than that at times. Jerry?
Well, we're dealing with a lot of stalls out there this morning. I'm not really sure why, but here's one of them. I-285 eastbound right as you approach I-20. This is in Fulton County, of course. You see the flashing lights there. It is over to the right, and traffic making their way by that just fine. It looks a little foggy out there, maybe. I don't know. Possibly dealing with some fog this morning. There's your trip along the east and the west wall. You are condition green as of this hour, and of course, in downtown, still condition green, but we are at 6:07. I expect that will change soon.
Jerry, is your palm itching?
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
You might be sitting on some major bucks, and
Oh,
so
of
might
course I am.
A Powerball ticket worth $50,000 was sold at a Kroger in Lilburn, and no one has claimed it yet. So that's why I had to ask Jerry if his palms were itching. It was purchased at the store on Highway 29, and the winner has 180 days to cash in, and you still have a chance to win the Powerball. No one matched all the numbers. In fact, the next Powerball drawing tomorrow will be worth at least $120 million. I'm going to the gas station right after the show. And there's a lot on the line for the Georgia Bulldogs when they face LSU Saturday in the SEC Championship game. For Coach Kirby Smart, that includes hundreds, and I mean hundreds of thousands of dollars. Listen to this. So according to the terms of his contract, he's already earned a bonus, $100,000 for getting to the bins on Saturday. If the Dogs win, he'll pick up another $125,000. Now, bonus money is also attached to making it to the national championship game. We're talking about $500,000. And if the Dogs win it all, he'll pocket $700,000, bringing his grand total to $925,000 in bonuses. Whew, that's a lot of money. Okay, now it's time for a segment we like to call So They Say. And they say if you work hard, you play hard. And in this case, if you play hard, you work harder. A new study shows that if employees play video games at work, it can actually increase office productivity. Now, after newly formed groups played video games together for just 45 minutes, their productivity surged by 20%. And here's even more evidence that playing video games work. Employees who engaged in training discussions saw an uptick in team cohesion, and the teams that played video games actually saw their performances improve significantly. So first and foremost, do you buy it?
Yes.
So this is starting to make sense to me now. You're giving them time together to play games together. Okay. Yeah. I can see how that could work.
Adversity adds strength to a bond. You know what I mean? So when you do things together, you learn more about one another. Like if you think about what we do, most of the time it's separated. Yeah. Right? If you throw us together and we have to work together physically on something, a game or whatever it may be, we're going to learn more about each other. We're going to bond more. So I totally agree with it.
It's funny because I was actually talking to a friend who used to work at JetBlue, and they said in the workroom, in that break room, they have video games so the workers can keep their adrenaline high, build communication, and as soon as those planes come in, they're running back out to, you know.
You just have to make sure it's not something that's a distraction,
right?
And you're lingering doing this for 2 hours, 3 hours at a time, which would be a temptation, obviously. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that what you do together anytime. Yeah. So maybe we need to do that instead of arguing about sports.
We used to have a basketball hoop right out the back.
Oh, we did?
Really?
And so yeah, after the show was over, we'd go back out there and shoot some hoops. Not like play a full-on game, but how many can you make, that kind of thing. Okay. And so it bonded us.
We need to bring that back.
We're not bringing it back. They're riding me real hard. Okay.
What's wrong with bringing it back?
Ahead on Morning Rush. Oh goodness, the man believed to be a suspect in the Atlanta child murders maintains his innocence. You're going to find out if a parole board thinks he should go free, and Senator Johnny Isakson gives his final farewell address. We take a closer look at his likely replacement.
And a deadly winter storm continues to make its way across the country. We'll let you know when we're expecting that snow to start to slow down a little bit.
I want a basketball hoop. That'd be nice.
I think the hoop.
Welcome back to Morning Rush, folks. Here are 3 things you need to know before you head out the door this morning. Coming in at number 1, a police officer shoots a student. It happened yesterday outside a high school in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And investigators say an armed 17-year-old student inside the high school refused to hand over his gun and prepared to fire at officers. The school resource officer had been tipped off yesterday that the teen had a gun inside the school. This morning, the student is in stable condition and there were no other injuries in the incident. And coming in at number 2, a guilty plea is expected from one of President Donald Trump's longtime supporters. Congressman Duncan Hunter is facing charges of misusing campaign funds. Hunter had initially denied the claims and tried to blame his wife, who pled guilty 5 months ago. They were both charged for reportedly spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on vacations, bar tabs, affairs, and more. The plea hearing is scheduled for this morning in San Diego. And coming in at number 3, a deadly winter storm. It's responsible for killing at least 8 people and hitting more than 30 states during a week-long trek from Oregon to Maine. Right now, the storm is delivering a final blast of snow, ice, and rain. It's also creating chaos on the roads from Philadelphia to New York City and across New England. The storm is expected to wind down this morning, leaving as much as 30 inches of snow on the ground in New York, Chesley. All right, folks, you know what time it is. You see your screen. It is time for Tuesday's edition of the A Scene. And first up, another honor for Lithia Springs' very own Lil Nas X. Yep, you guessed it. His hit song, Old Town Road, continues to rack up these awards. Now, Old Town Road is Apple's pick for Song of the Year. And my girl, Billie Eilish, has Apple's Album of the Year. She's also its Global Artist of the Year. The company says streams on its Apple Music service determine this year's album and Song of the Year. So congrats. We're so proud of you, Lil Nas X. And time to catch a casting. So how would you like to play a deacon alongside award-winning songstress Jennifer Hudson? Well, guess what? MGM's Aretha Franklin biopic titled Respect is now casting 5 African-American men deacons. The men must be clean-shaven, at least 5'9", aged 30 to 55 years old, clean-shaven, like I said, and they're filming in a church scene for the 1950s, like church scene. It goes down Thursday and Friday. Submission details, I've already dropped them on the A Scene Facebook group. And guess what? A TV series for Nat Geo is also centering a story around Aretha Franklin, right here in Georgia. Deadline is reporting the 3rd season of their series will be called Genius: Aretha. And yes, they're casting, so here we go. A car dealership scene, to be exact. Casting directors need both female and male patrons and drivers. Now, you must be Caucasian, ages 20 to 60. You have to look conservative. This scene takes place in the 1967 era, and no modern hairstyles allowed. Men can have small, tidy mustaches, but no goatees or beards, okay? Filming goes down December 10th, and submission details are on our Facebook page right now as well. And as always, you know where to head if you just want more entertainment news here in Georgia. 11alive.com/the A Scene. Chesley, over to you.
All right, we got some wind chills out there to tell you about, down into the 20s. That's the way it feels on your exposed skin as the kids are standing at the bus stop and as you're going to work this morning. So make sure you grab your coat, hat, scarf.
Live from the 11 Alive studio, Morning Rush starts now.
6:29 the current time. Take a look at our live Earth cam. Looks pretty nice from a window, you know, from where we are. We're fine. But when you step out there, you're going to need your coat, folks. Temperatures are down into the 30s in a lot of spots. Yeah, we're below freezing in some spots in Georgia starting off this morning. So bundle yourself up and the kids as well. You're going to need to. And you'll need that coat all day long. Although you know the kids won't come home with the hat and the gloves.
They leave them there every time.
They'll be found and lost and found. If you need to recover them, just go to the school lost and found. That's where you'll find most of your kids' belongings. You know, yeah, especially the little ones. They take that stuff off. They're burning up inside.
The mittens and the scarves.
Yeah, they want to get out there and play. They just take that stuff off and just
throw it aside.
Throw it aside.
The 30s.
Never to be seen again.
Well, good morning, folks. Happy Tuesday to you. The team is here. Jerry's in for a crash, and Sheba is off today. But Chelsea, you're going to get us started with the Rush Block
in the
30s?
Yeah, in the 30s. But it feels like the 20s.
No.
Yeah, but that wind that we have out there. Take a look at this. Snow's ending at least this morning up in Boston and New York, coming to an end there. Had some in Washington, D.C., Philadelphia this morning. So that's all coming to an end as this area of low pressure leaves us. But clouds at least hanging on, even down where we are. Clouds are hanging on. It's starting to break up a little bit. You can see some holes in this cloud deck. And so we'll get some sunshine in. We'll call it a mix of sun and clouds for the afternoon. 33-degree start. We'll get up to 44 by noon. 51 and a bit breezy will be our forecast for today. today. Gradual warm up in the next couple of days. Stays dry at least until Friday. That'll be our next chance for the rain. Jerry Carnes in for Crash Clark. How's a look at the traffic?
Well, if you're making your way in from DeKalb County or Gwinnett County, we have got volume. Take a look. This is I-20. Folks trying to make their way in on the east side of town from the Conyers area into town. Yeah, we've got brake lights out there. It has just been slowing down over the last 10 or 15 minutes. We've got a stall that is eastbound. In other words, it's out of town in DeKalb County, but over on the other side, yeah, you're down to 34 miles an hour I-20 westbound as you're trying to head into town from that Rockdale County area. And then Gwinnett County, you are slowed to 17 miles an hour as you make that transition from 316 onto I-85. Take a look at the big three. Whoops, conditioned red on 400 and on 85. You're 17 minutes to get from 316 to I-285.
Jerry, thank you. Saying farewell to Washington, D.C., Georgia U.S. Senator Johnny Isakson will give his final address on the Senate floor today. Afterward, Georgia Senator David Perdue and other lawmakers will honor Isakson's decades of public service. Isakson is retiring at the end of the year because of health reasons. And Naima Abdullahi is tracking this story. And Naima, we're hearing reports about who could be his replacement.
That's exactly right. We're learning that according to the Associated Press, Governor Brian Kemp has made a decision to appoint the current co-owner of Atlanta's WNBA team, the Atlanta Dream. Governor Kemp is expected to appoint Kelly Loeffler, who is a financial services exec. She will reportedly fill Senator Isakson's soon-to-be vacant seat after he retires the end of the month due to health issues. Now, the businesswoman is a political newcomer, but she's been a very active donor to mainly Republican causes. Loeffler became co-owner of the WNBA Atlanta Dream. A number of political insiders have said that President Donald Trump would prefer to have Republican Representative Doug Collins in that Senate seat instead, and this Senate seat has become a hot topic on national news. It's just ongoing. Governor Kemp has yet to publicly announce this decision, and 11 Alive reached out to his office to independently confirm the reports, but we did not get a statement yet. Francesca.
Naima, thank you. An embattled sheriff is out, and now a new leader is stepping in and making history. Melody MADDOX was sworn in as DeKalb County's 50th sheriff and is the first woman to hold the position. Jeffrey Mann retired as sheriff last month. MADDOX is a graduate of Morris Brown, and she's been in law enforcement for 23 years. Now to some other top stories we're following this Tuesday morning.
I'm Hope Ford. New information about one of the teens killed in a double murder on Thanksgiving. Savannah Fullman was a popular athlete. One of her coaches, Mike Garner, tells us they're making plans to retire her number. Her funeral is set for this Saturday at Salem Baptist Church in McDonough. Police have not released any information on a suspect in the murder of Fullman and her boyfriend, Demir Robinson.
Staying in prison. The state denying Wayne Williams' appeal for parole. He's considered the main suspect in the string of killings of black children 40 years ago known as the Atlanta child murders. Right now, he's serving 2 life sentences for murdering 2 adults. A well-known DJ for kids events now in custody on child molestation charges. Henry County Police charging Malcolm Rhodes with sexual battery of a 15-year-old boy. His social media pages show he's worked field trips and pool parties. Police say they're worried there may be more victims.
And that's your Rush Block. A quick look at your top stories, weather and traffic. Paper straws could be standard at Atlanta's airport next year. Atlanta City Council moved to push legislation forward that bans single-use plastic at city-owned buildings and the airport. So what does that mean? No plastic bags and no plastic straws. Now, the legislation was unanimously approved at last night's City Council meeting and moves on to the mayor's desk. And if Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms indeed signs it, it would go into effect December of next year. And we've been talking about it throughout the morning on our Morning Rush Insider page, where many of you have been weighing in. Ricardo is all for it. He's got other straw alternatives ready to go from his daughters who've been setting him up just in case this happens. Denise also talking about how many straws are used at the world's largest airport. And a lot of people talking about should have been done a long time ago. So we've been following this throughout the morning, and we do want to make it clear that at several of the restaurants in Hartsfield Jackson's airport, they have been providing paper straws and other alternatives already, but this is not a requirement. So that point always comes up when it comes to this conversation. Of course, we'll continue to follow and see if the mayor indeed signs. We'll keep you posted on air and online. And in the meantime, Fran, over to you.
Thanks so much, Liza. Time now 6:36. Let's get into what's going on in other news. The holiday spending spree is almost, well, officially over, and now it's just regular shopping. But Adobe is projecting Cyber Monday sales hit $9.2 billion. Whew. Now that's $1 billion more than last year. From 11 to midnight last night, they predicted that $11 million would be spent every single minute. Did you hear what I just said? $11 million every minute. They suspect Monday will also be marked the first day in history where consumers spend over $3 billion in a 24-hour window from their smartphones. Whew. And you might want to run and not walk to get your share of French fries, because after a weak potato harvest, experts say there could be a shortage of French fries in the new year. I know, people are going crazy. There's gasps all across the newsroom. Now, according to Bloomberg News, cold weather and the impact of Hurricane Dorian has damaged potato crops in the United States and Canada. That means smaller spuds and pressure on supplies for French fry processors. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is estimating domestic potato output will drop more than 6% this year. That's the lowest level since 2010. Can you imagine going to Wendy's and they're like, $5 for your fries, sir? Now to a segment we like to call So They Say, and this could maybe help with this segment. So we're always sharing stories about working out and how good it is for your health at any age, right? But a new survey says 2 in 5 adults feel they're too old to work out by the age of 41. But that's just one limitation. Other common responses are not having enough time, or, nah, I'm too tired, or, you know, the weather's just real bad outside, I think I'm gonna stay in. The survey says the excuses ultimately come down to convenience, saying only 29% of Americans consider working out to be convenient. People said it would be easier with home fitness, less expensive alternatives, or having a personal trainer for accountability. All right, fellas, y'all got excuses? Y'all work out?
Well, I'd keep it simple. I just go for walks. I mean, if you just do that simple thing, usually my wife and I walk together, and we use that opportunity to, you know, talk and talk about our day and everything like that.
Yeah, I think you need that buy-in.
Somebody to
so hold you accountable to do it with. Yeah, because if you have, I feel like I have too many responsibilities to take time out to work out, and I know I should be doing it at least for 15 minutes, 10 minutes. I try to do some of those YouTube 10-minute videos, but with that I got to change my clothes. I got to, you know, worry about sweating and all that kind of thing, and then I got to go change because I got to go to the next meeting and that kind of thing. And so it's gets to be excuses.
No, but here's how you can incorporate it. So I started my whole weight loss journey, if you will, which helped me lose 50 pounds this year. I started that by just walking. I don't exercise where it's like this rigorous exercise.
And you don't have to.
I literally walk 30 minutes to an hour a day.
30 minutes to an hour.
That's it. And well, I know it says that's it, but then you have to change your eating. If you are going to make the excuse to not work out, then eat correctly, aka drink your shakes, put more vegetables into your meal. And you don't necessarily
do a little of both. 10, 15, 20, do it first thing in the morning. Get it over with, then there's no excuses the rest of the day. Get up a little earlier. Go to bed a little earlier. Get up a little earlier. I know not us, I get it, but the majority of America can do that. And then adjust your diet.
Or walk to the bathroom that's farther, or walk to the water fountain that's farther in the back of the office.
But don't go for a 3-mile walk and then eat a bag of Doritos. Which is what I typically do.
Tips from Jerry. I'm telling you. Chime in, folks. Let us know what you do. Is it an inconvenience to you? I know a lot of us make excuses. 29% only do it and say they enjoy it. But if you want to live longer, Chesley, use it. If you want to live longer.
Well, yeah.
Chesley, you want to be here with us.
I'm going up to you. Anyway, we're looking at.
He's walking back to the weather. He's getting his exercise.
We are looking at temperatures in the 30s starting off this morning. It's pretty cold outside. That cold air will make you walk faster, at least to your car, if you park that outside. Temperatures in the low 30s in a lot of spots, so you definitely have to bundle up, and you may want to hold on to that coat all day long, as temperatures will only make it up to 51 degrees this afternoon, and when you factor in those northwest winds, it'll feel like the 40s out there, so make sure you bundle yourself up and walk. Jerry Carnes.
Yes, walk back to the weather center and back and forth, whatever you need to do. It's not that difficult. Okay, we're dealing with a lot of volume, especially in Gwinnett County. There's a shot of I-85 at Old Norcross Road. Look at that volume begin to build. Just in the last 10 minutes, we have really seen a lot of folks get on the road, so you are really slowed there. We're dealing with an accident that just occurred a few minutes ago. This is on the west side of town, I-285 northbound right at MLK. It is off to the right, but you might see some flashing lights. And on I-20, if you're making your way in from the Conyers area, you're down to 17 miles an hour around Panola Road.
And today marks Giving Tuesday. It's all about a call to action where you give your donations, your time, instead of getting. Of course, it follows all that Black Friday and Cyber Monday shopping. And here in Georgia, you're going to see Georgia Gives hashtag trending in your feeds this morning. Many nonprofits have been up and tweeting overnight, sharing their messages. And we want to know what nonprofit speaks to you, speaks to your heart. You can show your love. Again, use that hashtag Georgia Gives and include that hashtag Morning Rush ATL as we continue to follow this important call to action, guys.
Got a question for you. Are you allergic to Christmas? It sounds silly, I know. But there could be hidden dangers in your favorite holiday decor. We're connecting the dots. And the chicken sandwich war continues with a late entry from McDonald's.
And they're the team that many of us love, but do you know how they got their name? Tomorrow morning on the Morning Rush, our Y Guy will explain the reason the University of Georgia is associated with the Bulldogs.
Welcome back to Morning Rush. Time for the checklist, the stories you need to know before you rush out the door this morning. A welfare check leads to a gruesome discovery. 3 people found dead inside a home. Naima Abdullahi is in the newsroom with the details.
Francesca, the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office is investigating to find out exactly what led to that discovery. Yesterday, they found 3 people dead in a home on Sweetwater Lane in Conyers. Right now, we don't know who the 3 people are and what might have led to their death. We're working to find out if the Sheriff's Office is looking for any possible suspects. Now, this is still an active investigation. Anyone with any information is asked to contact police.
Thank you, Naima. Later today, Senator Johnny Isakson will give